love this grappling hook.
In most games, the concept of bunny hopping is quite mainstream. Even in Deep Rock Galactic, it is quite common to see players jumping in order to stay in motion while using something like the minigun Sledstorm. Unfortunately, most players are not fully aware of how utterly broken optimized bunny hopping can be. Which is why I'm here to show you how you can become a true speed demon. First things first, I want to make a couple points clear. In order for bunny hopping to work consistently, you will need to modify your game slightly. But don't worry, it's very easy and you can still join or host games of your own without others having to download the same mods. Secondly, I do not know if you can make this work on console. Most likely not, because the amount of inputs you need to be sending is just not possible without macros. You may already know that in most games, bunny hopping revolves around jumping at the right time when you're about to come in contact with the ground. Deep Rock is no different. You want to send as many jump inputs as possible. A scroll wheel jump bind is doable, but will often result in momentum being lost, which is why I recommend using the hold jump mod by K91. You cannot actually gain any speed from jumping, but you can maintain the momentum you already have. The game only tries to slow you down when you are grounded. Your build should have a consistent way of increasing your base movement speed in order to chain it into a bunny hop as often as possible. The reason why you're only seeing scout gameplay is because speed boosts on other classes are not as potent or plenty. However, the core concept remains on all classes, and you don't need to be the scout to bhopp. He's just the best at it. Understanding the various speed boosts available is very important. There are two types of them in DRG, capped boosts and uncapped boosts. For example, dash is a capped boost, meaning that activating it once you are over a certain speed won't make you any faster than you already are. There are multiple capped boosts available, you just have to experiment which one you'd like to rely on the most. Unfortunately, only a few uncapped speed boosts exist in the game. Special Powder and the RJ250. These are unique because they will keep making you faster regardless of how fast you're already going. This can result in some crazy moments, like moving at the same speed as your flare gun shot. I really hope that GSG will add more of these uncapped boosts into the game in the future. The reason why I am distributing the speed boosts into two categories is because of how they interact with each other. You should generally try to use a capped boost before an uncapped boost, but that can vary differently depending on the situation. So for example, you would want to use your grappling hook before adding a special powder shot to it. This will result in the most speed gained. Another thing that has a direct impact on your ability to preserve momentum is your frame rate. Here you can see what bhopping looks like on an uncapped frame rate. And here is what it would look like on 30 FPS.
Rock and stone, everyone!
What this means is that for the best results, you should seek to optimize your game performance. You can do this by turning down your graphics or by downloading some FPS booster mods from mod.io. Now I'll show you how to effectively traverse the map and utilize bhopping. We will start with building the scout properly. For your grappling hook, it is absolutely essential that you choose overcharge winch from the third column. Everything else is personal preference, but I highly recommend going all in for recharge speed. The reason why overcharge winch is essential is because it accelerates you to a much higher speed than high velocity ejection system. This way you're giving yourself a much stronger capped speed boost to follow up with a special powder shot. However, it is recommended to only use overcharge winch if you are hosting your own games. This is because the game's netcode is not the best, and the server will randomly give you twice the speed from your grapple, resulting in unpredictable overshoots. If you join games as client with overcharge winch, prepare to die of fall damage. A lot. If you have already tried bhopping, you might have noticed that you can't make sharp turns, because it will immediately kill your momentum. For redirection, you should snap grapple to the place you want to go, or use a special powder shot for it, if necessary. Slow, gradual turns, or as it is often called, air strafing, can be done by holding your sideways inputs and slowly turning your mouse towards the direction you want to steer yourself. Special powder is undeniably the strongest movement tool in your arsenal. While bunny hopping is quite easy through mods, special powder is the true skill ceiling. There isn't much to be said about how you should use it, because it is only something that you can learn through hundreds of hours of practice and experimentation. A good way to practice powder hopping is to load up a has-one point extraction mission with both ammo upgrades selected on your boomstick. Then just see what you can do with it. Try different angles to shoot from, and see what happens. Try vertical jumps. Try to land on a precise location. Try shooting 2 shells very quickly and get a feel for the speed. Avoiding fall damage will become second nature to you once you get a feeling for special powder. You can often completely negate fall damage by converting your vertical speed into horizontal speed with a well-placed powder shot. Fall damage is only calculated from your vertical speed, which is why slamming into a wall at Mach 5 won't actually deal any damage to you. Next, I will show you how to carry heavy objects like they were made out of feathers. You might have already seen some of my content where I transfer powder shot or grapple momentum into an awkward bhop. This can be pretty hard to get the hang of at first, but it will get easier the more you do it. The easiest awkward hop is done with a grapple. Simply grapple towards an awkward, start bhopping, and then grab the awkward. This alone is already pretty good, but we can make it faster. The slightly harder awkward hop is done with special powder. This requires you to have proper angling, and the time frame you have to pick up the awkward is a lot smaller. You might also take fall damage, which will make you drop the awkward. This is actually a good time to explain how heavy objects react to your movement. As I was saying, taking fall damage will make you drop the heavy object you are carrying, but you will also drop it if your vertical speed exceeds a certain limit. Basically, if you are going up or down too fast while holding a heavy object, you will drop it. We can play around this mechanic by spamming our interact key in order to keep regrabbing the heavy object. This is where a scroll wheel interact bind will come in handy. And no, you cannot hold your key down to do this like you would in order to land on a pipeline. With the scroll wheel keybind, we can make high vertical jumps while keeping the awkward in our hands. There is also the topic of using macros to make much longer or higher jumps. The reason why you cannot do this manually is because a regular scroll wheel does not send enough inputs to grab the heavy object when you are traveling a longer distance. It is entirely up to you if you want to create a macro for regrabbing, but some people don't like it because it is quite cheaty. But those people shouldn't have a say in what you choose to do in your own games anyways. Heavy object tech only works on certain items. Anything that is shaped like an artwork is free real estate. Eno pearls are also viable. However, you will notice that grabbing Gunk seeds or Doretta is practically impossible. I don't know why their hitboxes are so janky, but it's been like this forever. Keep this in mind if you're wondering why some items cannot be used for movement tech. GSG, please fix the Gunk. Pretty please. That's pretty much it for this guide. You might have noticed that I already made a similar guide a couple months ago, but I decided to make a new one with commentary. There were also a lot of things I wanted to add to the old video, since I have been getting a lot of questions from viewers regarding how everything worked. If this guide was helpful and you enjoyed it, consider subscribing. I might start making more higher effort videos like this. Anyways, thank you for staying and watching.